Cool. Now we are live. Um, Hi, Jess.
Hello.
Hello, everybody else as well. If you're joining us live right now, or you may be joining us at a later date that's more convenient for you, or the world, we're strung together with these invisible strings. So you find things that you've asked for whether you realize it or not. So welcome. My name is Tiffany Cook, and I run a spiritual practice called the Healing Hill. And about a year ago I started getting these nudges to go live, but to ultimately create a space to share light, individuals' light, through my own platform of light. And so today's episode is a little bit different. As opposed to having some sort of speaker that specializes on a specific dimension of spirituality, I am actually going to do a live reading, a live channeled reading, and this is the way that I make my income, and again, what I've been called to do. So Jess has so graciously, how would I say this? Volunteered. She's the verse volunteer to get read publicly and live. That takes a lot of courage, and so just thank you so much for being courageous and vulnerable. I find those qualities personally really, I don't know, seductive and attractive. So if you wouldn't mind sharing, I guess, how did we meet? I mean, we've met a couple of times prior to this virtually, and a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Yeah. So, hello, I'm Jess. I met Tiffany. I've had a couple readings with Tiffany already over the past several years now. And I met Tiffany through a good friend of mine, Holly Beatrose, who does a lot of dream work analysis with Michael. I forget his last name, Michael Sheridan. And I've just seen Holly's trajectory in the dream field and in her own life and spirituality. And she and I talk every week, and she recommended Tiffany to me because I think you two know each other through
Me
that.
too. Yeah.
And she was like, hey, if you're looking for a really spot on reader, Tiffany is your girl. And so we have done a couple of readings like
Yeah,
that.
we have.
It is funny because Holly and I met a long time ago, about a decade ago. I moved to San Diego from New York, and we met in this training and development program called Landmark Forum. And it's very kind of strict and rigid, and it was great at the time. And we learned so much, and we became such good friends. And then in those next years that followed that, I had this spiritual awakening, and Holly had not yet. And so our friendship was a little not distorted or strange, but it was different. And then all of a sudden, Holly also had her own spiritual awakening. And now we're both enjoying these different modalities and aspects and growing and connecting in those ways. So yeah, that's kind of a little bit about my journey here.
Well, will you share a little bit about how your soul awoke, how you started to, how you perceive your existence in this life?
Oh yeah. Okay. So I'm trying to make a long story a little shorter, but I was born and raised in New York on the East Coast, and my dad's a chemist. I was very interested in chemistry and atoms and molecules and making up this physical world from a very young age. And so I took that path, the scientific chemistry intellect path, also going through emotional turmoils as well, having boyfriends. They broke my heart, seeing parents fight. I was like, love doesn't exist. Souls aren't real. Soulmates don't exist. And I kind of completely shut down that part of me around college, I would say, and went straight into chemistry, the mind and intellect. Got good grades, got me out here. I loved it. I was like a proud atheist, honestly. I was like, this is all okay. I was like, God doesn't exist. All of you are just not smart. Like, look at the science and the facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then by some stroke of luck, I had honestly never been to California in my life. But when I was applying to graduate schools for chemistry degrees, I applied to 7 schools in California.
Wow.
one in New York. And, my parents are freaking out or whatever, but I did end up moving out to San Diego. And I honestly went to grad school. I dropped out, got a job in academia in chemistry still. That was fine. But within a couple years, I would say I moved here in 2009. By 2011, I'm not sure. I was so happy and so in love and so joyful out here. I was partying a little bit too much out here. I was a free girl. I was like partying, staying up, like doing all that stuff. There was this one night, like I stayed up pretty late. And then my friend Ken, who I met here, brought me to the Self-Realization Fellowship in Encinitas. And I remember walking among those grounds where Paramahansa and Yogananda had lived and wrote, and looking out along the ocean. And I was just wondering, like, what is life? Like, what does the afterlife feel like? And it was like this release of, I was no longer in my body. I was all of the whole ocean and the waves and the air. And I just felt this enormous sense of peace and love and power were those three words. And like Ken was like, "You're glowing. What's happening to you?" And I'm like, "I don't know." And then I like snapped out of it. But that moment changed my whole life. And then here I am still in a science world, but I'm like walking around with like rocks, like crystals in my pocket. Like,
I hear you. I've got them all around. Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, everywhere. And at first that was like a while ago. I felt like very uncomfortable in the science world, believing in all that. But now I'm like getting more and more grounded in all of that as part of the magic of chemistry and science that people often overlook.
100%. Yeah. There's been a few people that I have read for that part of their purpose is connecting spirituality and science for that's digestible and palatable for individuals to
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's so beautiful. I have had a few, and I can almost count on like the two hands that I have, the amount of times I've had just purely blissful moments where it's like everything is perfect. I don't know how else to describe it. And they're fleeting. They're just seconds long, which ultimately time is a figment of the ego as well. Like, but anyways, it's really beautiful. So I know that exists, right? We can,
and it changes your life. Like totally.
100%. Yeah. Like I used to think really that we just worked until we were 65, retired, and then like maybe had like 10 or 15 fun years. And then we died. And then we just went into the ground. I know, such a I don't want to say sad, but you can go do whatever you need to do.
Let me just turn that on real quick. Okay. There we go.
No worries. Okay, let's see here. I got one more question at least that's coming through. And this is just, how do you talked about the academia world. How do you, sometimes we can wear masks and we don't even realize that we're wearing masks. And I think I see it more with men having to wear a mask out in public, being crying or vulnerable versus being able to be that at home might be a bit more acceptable. But how do you stay authentic to your soul's expression, authentic to who you are, your essence, while living in a world that may be less accepting of you?
Yeah, I'm just smiling because in my like lab spaces that I have like up here, I believe there's like a little poster with an Om symbol on there. So like it's definitely in having touchstones and reminders in my lab space in my office about all of that, like reminding and reflecting to me in like safe spaces for all of that. And then at first, when I first was going through it, I kind of wanted to talk to everybody about it, and that like didn't go over so well. Yeah.
Me too, by the way.
So then I did put on a mask and probably didn't talk about it for a long time. And then as I was walking the way, I got more comfortable in it. And now I feel like I just am being it.
Yeah.
And people who have like an inkling about that kind of recognize that. And then conversations just open and start and things flow like that. But
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I definitely don't like go into meetings like, hey, everyone, like, look at all of this new spiritual stuff I'm learning about. And like, if someone has aches and pains, there's a book for that. But like, I pick and choose my moments. And
Yeah.
actually, I've had some really amazing conversations with certain coworkers that I never would have anticipated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You start to attract it more just through the
Exactly. And then I trust that, like, if someone's having these conversations with me, like, it's okay to lean in a little bit and like start going down that road a little bit more and more.
100%. Yeah. I love that. I so much. So, let's see, do we both? Yes, we both have the gift of spiritual leadership, which is showing others how to live or how to be. It's not telling. And I remember when I started to know that God existed, the imprint of God was just showing up every day in my life. I went door knocking, straight up fucking. Oh my God, I'm kidding you. I had a little
Brave.
it was like I just felt so full of love. I literally had a little handful of stones and I went fucking door knocking. And it was COVID. People were inviting me into their homes.
God.
And it wasn't until I was in an apartment building just going door to door. I'm not even fucking kidding you. And this woman opened the door and immediately slammed it in my face, which is totally fine. And I'm on walking, and the next person I see is this roofer, and I tell him like God exists, and you're loved, and you're God as well. He resides inside of you. And I told him about the person that slammed the door in my face, and he goes, "Not everybody is ready for your message.
Mm,
Your message isn't for everybody." And it was like a huge realization around like, just because I know it to be true doesn't mean you do or even want to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an insightful roofer.
Dude, right? Well, like we all are what do they say? Like, we're all the director, the writer, the producer, and the actor, right? And so like I manifested that man that
Yes.
day to help me along in my journey, which is just so beautiful. Okay. Are you ready to get started then? Are you
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let's see here. I've already connected prior to us even joining here, but I am going to ask for permission. Do I have permission to access your energy?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Um, all right. Dear God, may I serve as a channel for Jess to share a message that is in her greatest and highest good. May I call on all of her spirit team that has the messages that are going to be the most helpful for her in this very moment. And let's look at what 2024 will hold in store for Jess as well. All right, amen. So the first word that's coming through and coming through and coming through is hope, 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 hope.
Okay.
So I don't know where hope is coming from. They're almost describing it as you seeing the way fear may manifest in your life and the ways in which it isn't helpful. And also, not even so much not helpful, but how I don't want to say it's silly because it's your reality, right? It's your truth. But you're starting to see the ways in which fear, it's like there's nothing to fear but fear itself. You're starting to see the truth of that. And by seeing the truth of that, it's shedding the the need to harbor that fear. And so there's all this hope that's coming through. And it's like, consciously that our thoughts become things, and not only sometimes but every time. And it's not only the positive ones, but it's also the negative ones. But you're starting to see that you're a master manifester.
Mm-hmm.
And that literally in a moment's time, in a moment's notice, you can get whatever the fuck you want.
Hell yeah.
And it's almost scary. It's almost like you talked about I can't remember the other two words, but power, when you were the ocean and you were the wind. And it's like you're starting to realize how much power you have. It's infinite. And more specifically, I'm feeling some pain in my heart. So I'm going to ask the angels to come through and do some work while I am doing this speaking. But there is some influences between mom and dad. I'm getting more dad than I'm getting mom around. When we're young, we don't realize the ways in which we are programmed. And part, you talked about the scientific upbringing. Part of that was almost a disassociation from the feelings.
Mhm.
And not even that you don't have them, you would have them, but you would almost tell yourself, it was almost like, hold on, it's almost here. You didn't trust them.
Yep.
Didn't trust them. And so part of why this hope is starting to manifest is because there's healing that's transforming inside of you as well. And it's not by accident. Like, you know, sometimes we don't need to know the how, we just need to know the what. And if how you're existing is no longer working for you, you can just say what would work. You don't even need to know how you're going to get there, but just knowing what is going to work, because then the universe is just going to automatically, well, not automatically, we got to be specific about it, but then they know how to support you. And so this is something that you have felt for a while was achievable, but you didn't know how to get there, and now you're here.
Mhm.
And it's like, the next thing that what they're leading into is like, fuck, now that I really know this consciously and literally, like it's in my bones, what do I do with it?
Yes.
What do I, so the next thing that's coming through is almost like, and it's really, it's adorable almost. It's almost like a little kid learning how to walk. That's the image I get. Is it's like 2 steps forward in this direction. No, 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 no. Do I want to do that? It's like, but it's almost like how they show it is, if you've ever been to a Cirque du Soleil or seen Cirque du Soleil, um, it's almost like you're on those, I don't even know what those we call those ribbons.
Mhm.
It's like swinging one way and then you're like swinging another. It's almost like you've just learned how to run and it feels so good.
It does.
And so what they would like you to do, so now we're getting into like some homework. I don't want to say homework, but some opportunity is, okay, it's almost here. I don't want to say a lot of your life has been chosen for you, but some of it has, in the sense of like, you know, we pick our lives, we pick our parents, we pick all of these actors to play you know, these sacred, we contract them, right? Like, you're going to do this and you're going to break my heart, or you're going to tell me this one thing at this one time, and it's going to literally, you know, create my mindset for my life. Well, um, so some of the choices you obviously made them, but you kind of made them for other people, partially. That, like, this is an acceptable route to go.
Mhm.
This is something that you do if you want to be successful. And this is, you know, I liken it to my experience. Like, they were my choices, but I was living someone else's agenda.
Yes.
And there were definitely, trust me, there's components of my life. I do not regret a single ounce of my existence. I get that you don't either.
Mm.
But now it's kind of like, it's so beautiful. It's like you asked for the freedom of choice and now you got it. And you're like, holy fucking shit, I have the freedom of choice.
Yeah.
And it's almost overwhelming in the sense of like, because you get to create whatever you want. So, what they would like you to do though is some trial and error.
Mm. Okay.
Because that's the other thing they said is basically anything you set your mind to, you do, like
Mhm.
with a state of excellence as well.
Mm.
And so they'd like you to get like a little bit dirty in the sense of like they would like you to fail at some things right now. Because in the failure, how they liken it is like a warmth that will generate inside of your chest, that it's like, oh, that's because that's the joy, right? When you have, and they say you have glimpses of it specifically. And this is just something I know because we've met before. Is I know, for example, when you're coaching soccer,
Mhm.
there's these moments that you're on fire, just it's love radiating inside of you. You're follow that. That is the feeling to follow.
Okay.
But like, this is the example they just gave. Again, I'm just going to give it is like pottery. Like going and trying pottery to see what that feels like, going and trying, just trying things that you think would be fun.
Yeah.
And I get the next thing that I get to is like, well, how do I make money at that?
Yes.
How is that a viable income?
Yes.
Here's the thing, anything can be monetized. Anything can be monetized. The piece is, though, you have to believe that it will
Mm.
and want it. And so I can guarantee there's somebody out there that makes YouTube videos of making pottery. That,
True.
again, and if it's your passion, that piece will follow. And so what they want you to do is go, I definitely, I'm going to back up a little bit. You are a channel as well. You do know that, right? That you get information. And
Definitely.
yes,
Yeah.
correct. Like, even when we were talking, I could tell that the way, and it's almost a look that you get. It's like you're accessing this information from somewhere.
Yes.
And so you're a channel as well. So um, just know that that's going to be a form of your expression of the soul in this lifetime. You definitely have the gift of spiritual leadership. So you're going to be working with groups in some capacity.
Okay.
Can I get some more? I see that you're able, sometimes when I meet with individuals, they have a specific, their gifts are for specific people.
Mm-hmm.
Like I met with a woman not too long ago, and she has the cool part of her purpose is so cool. She lives in all these different places, and her job is really to activate portals. So
Mm-hmm.
it's an idea. I'm going to move to France, and she lives there. And she goes, well, then I'm told to go visit this cathedral, and I go visit this cathedral. And she can work with other spiritually gifted people, but it's not for the entry level. It's not for children. It's not for the beginners.
Yeah.
And you're for everybody.
I
You're for everybody.
love
And
that.
part of it is, again, and we don't see ourselves, but is that you have this radiating energy about you. And it's not because you have to smile all the time, albeit you smiling does come naturally to you, but just in general, there's an energetic pull to you. I would say there's a natural patience that you have. There's sometimes you're not very patient with yourself, which obviously means you can be impatient with others. But in general, you're very patient with people. You're an excellent teacher. There's a natural humility to you, as opposed to if somebody doesn't get it, it's like they're doing it wrong. It's like, well, how can I help them? What am I not providing to them that will allow them for this to come through? If you want to get the lights, you can, or also you can just sit here. It's whatever's most convenient for you.
This is fine if that works for you.
100% it's fine.
Okay.
So let's see here. So what they would like you to do is to go try certain things. And like literally what just came up was like, I don't know, do you ever go to Groupon? Like
I
Groupon.com?
do. Yes, often.
Like going to Groupon, they have like all those random like adventures that you can go on that, you probably would never fucking sign up for if it wasn't for Groupon guiding you. This is like they're likening it to like Hansel and Gretel, excuse me. The breadcrumbs. Just go out and sample some different paths. It's almost like those balls of energy that when you like put your hand on it, the electricity comes and then it like
I'm not sure. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
about it's like a clear ball, but when you put your hand on it, okay, cool.
Yeah.
They're wanting it to basically like right now you've got this nucleus. They're wanting it to basically imagine the whole thing was lit up. Those are all the paths that they want you to test out
Wow.
before you pick one.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Like, and this might even be like a cool, like, again, this is just information that's coming through. It's like, you may even put together a jar with like 52 things to do, one a week. And like, this is the year of discovery for Jess.
I
And
love
it's
that.
trying new things because this fear of failure is leaving you. Or like going and doing something by yourself, or, booking that trip to go by yourself. Before it'd be like, there might be some sort of shame or embarrassment component, or again, our ego can create a lot of stories that's leaving you. And it's like, again, it's this feeling of hope, but also like seize the day. Why not me? And why not now? Right.
100%.
So, you also, something that would be helpful for you. Let me see how to say this. Okay. So they want you to find an outlet for your spiritual leadership gift as well. So, coaching is obviously a way that you can do that, but I could see you potentially starting like a blog
Mm,
and you weekly vlog or even just do a writing. It could be like 300 words where you write about like this week, this is what I signed up to do. This is how I felt going into it. And this is how this is where I could see growth in myself, but also this is where I could see I had an insecurity that I was able to overcome. Um, there's something where you need to be able to share your light with others.
yes.
If you don't, if you keep it to yourself, you'll be good for like 3 weeks and then somehow your energy is going to be influenced in the form of like you don't have the energy to go on another adventure. And it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It could just even be like on a walk you've never done, right? But you need to find some sort of outlet for that energy for your spiritual leadership gift, or you're going to get clogged. That's the best way for me to describe it. Is that I would say I liken it to like the feelings of depression, but it's
Yes.
not like as long. It doesn't have to be like months at a time. But it's basically like you need some sort of, whether you're volunteering or what have you, but you need to be around people and being able to just share your essence with them.
Hmm.
That would be helpful. But I could see you like even starting a YouTube channel, or start again something where you can get what you've experienced out as well, because you're taking it in, but you need to find an outlet to share it, to go out.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, they're taking me on to relationships. Are you in a relationship right now?
Oh, I am just started seeing this new guy. Yes.
Okay. Um, okay, two things are going to come through, or that are coming through right now, is they're saying to have fun for
Okay.
starters. I don't know if this person is fun to be around or is it adventurous,
Yes.
because I get that's the energy that I get. But then there's also almost, I'll say this, our body never lies to us.
Mm,
Our body will never, ever, ever lie. Our mind will.
mm.
Okay. They're saying that there's some sort of feeling that you get that is like a little like, something isn't right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Um, can I get some more? Okay. So this is the information they're giving it out. Hopefully they'll give me more is have fun right now.
Okay.
Allow yourself to have fun. We don't need to be like hyper focused into a year from now or even 3 months from now, right? Like if you're having fun now, um, God, what is that? Give me a little, can I have a little bit more information? How they're describing it is like, if someone's this fun, how could they be stable?
Mm.
Like, is this sustainable? Like, long term? Is that the energy? Like, I can't, whatever, there is something that I think, allow yourself to have fun, but I think that there may come a time where you do part ways.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he is definitely more in that like I want to commit and be like in this relationship with you, and I'm the one like, well, let's keep it kind of more light, and I'm not super certain yet because I am also like having fun in my own body and my life right now. I'm not sure I want to like divert all of that to this one
Yeah.
relationship.
Okay, cool. So I was definitely getting some sort of, okay. Um, honor your feelings.
Mm,
They will never ever lie. Well, that's not necessarily true. Honor the way your body feels.
mm,
Because sometimes feelings can, um, I one of my favorite quotes that a counselor ever gave me was, "Feelings and beliefs aren't necessarily true, but they're your truth."
mm. Oh,
Right?
mm,
Yeah. It's like, I feel like you're being mean to me. Well, the person could be loving you greatly, but you don't know the frequency of love. And so your feelings might not necessarily be true, but it's your truth.
true.
And so I just get that there's something, it's fun. He's going to play a role, right? We're all actors here, but I get that, um, somehow there's going to be some sort of impasse.
Okay.
And I get it. This is what's beautiful. I see you guys even bumping into each other in the future. It's not going to be like, oh shit, there's Jacob or whatever the guy's name is, and you're like, I got to avoid him.
Yeah.
I don't see that, because here's the other thing: for the first time in your life, you trust your communication.
I do. I know. It's amazing.
Yeah. Versus before, it would have been like you would almost ghost them. And not maybe not ghost them, but like not uh, lie about the reason that that you're breaking up with them
Yes.
to stay hurting their feelings.
Yes.
And so what's really beautiful is that the more authentic you are, the more authenticity you're going to breed.
Yeah.
And
Love
so,
that.
yeah. I just see for this next year, it's just a lot. It's very playful. It's very fun. It's very light. It's definitely stepping into more like feminine energy,
Mhm.
which I would say that you are definitely or were more comfortable in the masculine energy.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and so it's really beautiful. It's like you're seeing yourself as beautiful and sexy for the first time, and you're like, holy shit, like this was always here, but I'm just like I had a distorted view of seeing myself, you know? It's wild, right? Like even this is something else. Like one of your like again, I'm like again just making up this homework for you.
Love it.
Maybe one of your weeks is like I'm gonna go try on dresses this week.
Yes.
Just dresses that I would and colors that I would never normally buy, just to see what that feels like.
Mhm. Yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah. So this kind of blends into career. I see you. I Can I get a little bit more information? So there's a part of when I'm okay, it's almost here. Give me a sec. I get that you wonder what your future will look like in relation to your vocation
Often.
and what spirit would like you to do in great detail, as great as detail as you can right now. Like if you can't imagine it, it will not exist. And I'm saying imagine it in your mind's eye.
Yeah.
Is what if you had unlimited health, wealth, and resources, what would that look like?
Mm.
Like, would you, like Mother Teresa, would you open up that orphanage? Would you, like, again, you can create whatever you want. So you don't need to know how even. It's the what component. What would that look like? What would be fun? What would be, and it doesn't have to be like forever either, because that where they're saying that there might be some um, lack of clarity is like, well, I don't know if I want to do that forever. Like
Mhm.
this sounds fun today, or like I could do that for the next 10 years. Cool. Then create that dream and you can move from there. Um, it's definitely going to be led through the feminine energy, which is your heart. So
Mhm.
stepping into your heart, being super vulnerable, and in the sense of like not caring what your parents will think, or
Mhm.
even your other family or friends that are going to say, "Well, you've spent over $100,000 on your education, and now you're not even going to use it." You know what I mean? It's like, fuck off, dude.
I know.
It's not your shit. You
Not
know?
your life, exactly.
Yeah. And so, and even down to like the house that you would live in,
Mm.
animals that you would have.
Mhm.
And what would it look like when you walked in the door? And what would it look like when you drove up into the driveway? Is it in the mountains? Is it in the city? Um, and like what does it look like when you're doing what you're doing? Like for mine, when part of my dream is like I see myself on stage with thousands of people in an auditorium.
Love it.
And
Yeah.
that's like, I don't know how that will happen. I just know what I want to happen. I
Yes.
want to help millions of people heal.
Mm.
And somebody could say, like, that's such a lofty goal. Cool, dude. Like, your DNA has never existed before,
Mhm.
and it will never exist again. You are an unrepeatable miracle of the universe. And so, whenever we make ourselves small or tell ourselves a story, we're quite literally dimming the universe's light. And
Yeah.
so, and you've done that. That's the thing that's coming through. It's so beautiful. You're like,
Yes,
I'm done doing that.
I am. I know you're speaking to my soul here for sure. Yeah.
Let's see here. So let's see. Can I get some more information that would be helpful? It's kind of like how I talked about that, the 52 weeks thing, or however you're going to try new things. But it's almost like allow yourself one day to just like Google things, like Google job titles, Google
Mm.
just because you are psychic. And so I get that part of your psychic gift works through like your computer. So allowing yourself to like Google, like, I don't know, soccer meditative retreat. Like maybe that exists, or because what they want, because this is what they don't want to have happen, is sometimes we can get so focused on what it is and how it's going to happen that we actually won't allow for the universe to provide it for us, because it's got to come in this way, in this box at this time. And so it doesn't give the universe permission to, because how it's going to manifest is like completely miraculous miracle. Because if you could think of it, you'd already have it, right? If you could think how it's supposed to be done, it would be done. And so when you start to put a lot of restrictions on it, it's not going to allow itself to unfold. Um, and you are a master manifester. So I don't know if you know what your human design. Have you ever heard of human design?
Generator, I believe.
Okay, you're a generator. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Oh no, projector? I'm a projector.
A projector. Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, I've heard of it. Yes.
And so so projector, that would be like being able to create things with your mind.
Yes.
And so yours is almost like, I don't want to say extra powerful, but like even in the sense like you can create karma if you like think about someone poorly. Like your mind is very powerful and very strong. So and I get somehow, I don't know if it's because of the lifetime that you picked, but you're able to do it at a more accelerated rate as well, like quicker than other people.
Yeah.
It's kind of different. Like, sometimes, can I get information as to why that is? They just are saying that you've spent lifetimes working with energy and being able to manipulate energy. And so that even though you might not remember all of the experiences you had from other lifetimes, it's with you inside of on a cellular level. So that brings me up to a different thing. So activating our DNA, or some people call it activating our DNA. Like sometimes you meet somebody and they say something and you're like, oh shit, like something that happens inside of you. Nature is really a great space for you to do that. I see you like, I've never been to San Diego, but like I'm seeing almost like dry desert hiking. I don't know if that exists down there, but like, I mean, there's definitely some flora and fauna, but it's almost like red rocks. Is it like red rocks down there?
Not Red Rocks. No, I mean, that's more Sedona, I would say, which I just went to, but yeah, definitely some dry desert.
Okay. Well, I don't know if you did any hiking, but going outside and being, I just see you on like plateaus specifically. That's what's being presented, is a way for you to access information that already resides inside of you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Like, did you go hiking when you were in Sedona?
We did a couple little hikes, but I was with like other people. I prefer to go alone because I do feel that mind quiet, and then I do receive that deeper wisdom more easily.
Yeah.
In nature. So I actually want to go back to Sedona kind of alone and do those hikes. Or with someone who's kind of quiet as well in receiving.
I totally get that. Like even if I go somewhere with like a farmer's market, I'm like, I don't need to be with you the whole time. I actually prefer not to be with you. I don't need a lot of talking. Like that's just, we all have different wants and desires. So I totally get that. So I see if you were to go there, again, your mind is powerful. So even setting an intention, like I want to be a vessel to receive information about, where do I go next on my life's purpose? I want to receive information on how to really capitalize on my channeling gift, or, increase the amount of energy related to my spiritual leadership. Because I also get that you have the gift of counseling, which would work on more of a one-on-one basis as well. Yeah. So you've got that as well. Nature, just those specifically, I'm getting images of rock, and it's like red rocks. And then also water, being close to water is going to be really like a huge conduit of consciousness for you. Let's see here. Can I get anything else? I don't know why they're bringing this up, but you don't have children, right?
I don't have children.
Do you want children?
I'm unsure at this point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can we get some more information? Can I? This is how they're just. This is just what they're saying is they're yours to have if you would like.
Hmm.
I'm not getting that there's necessarily. This is interesting. I've never had this come through in a reading. I get that there are souls that you could bring here, but if you don't, they'll come in another way.
Okay. Yeah.
Because sometimes it's like required, like you've got to, and your dreams will show it even.
Hmm.
But I just am getting that I'm getting a few, like three, souls that are waiting. That if you were to want to have a child, that you
Mhm.
could,
Yeah.
but it's not. You're not going to incur karma if you don't, in the sense that that I'm getting that there's just another pathway for them to arrive here.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, let's
And
see.
again, it circles kind of back to that fear thing because I am just kind of overthink things and I'm like, how is a child going to impact my whole entire freaking life? You know what I mean? Like that's a lot of uncertainty and all of that. So we'll see how that goes.
And I would say that is just you're not ready then for it. If
True.
if ever, right? But you're just not, because there may come a day where you desire to have a baby inside your tummy
Yeah.
so ferociously that that's like the only thing that you're going to focus on. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And then that's because it's supposed to happen.
Yes.
But just know too that they're saying some information that's coming through is that um I'm just trying to be delicate here. You won't be your mother. You won't repeat. You won't be the same. Like there's, I'm getting that maybe there should be a bit of apprehension around, like, basically, like, repeating life's a bitch type of a deal. And
Mhm.
just know that if that did come to fruition, that they chose you to be their mother, that you aren't your mother. You're two different entities, two different beings, and that you won't. You'll make mistakes because we're human, but you're not going to make the same ones that your mother made.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
you're so welcome. All right. I'm going to close this out here. Um, can I get some final messages for Jess today? They just, this is interesting. The second thing they're saying is you're a bright light, but they just keep saying you're a rock star. You're a rock star. You're a rock star. So can I get some more information around that? It's okay. I asked why rock star, and they said that because it's kind of like, I don't know how to say this gently, but we all should have a little bit of bitch inside of us. And so that's kind of like, yes, exactly. A little bit of like, I'm kind, but don't take advantage of the kindness. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Because
Yeah.
I'll set a boundary and you'll know really quick that you've crossed it. Which is new, right? That's they're describing that as like a newer energy for you, and being more comfortable
Yes.
expressing your needs. Let's see, what else can we get through here? They're just, how they just said it is, you won't even be able to, how do I want to say this? What life will look like a year from now, you won't, it's impossible for you to even discern, which is just so exciting. So you may even for funsies, like write yourself a letter to like today, or over like the holidays for yourself in a year, like to just even like read. I think that's just something that's coming through. Um, whatever you desire to create, to be, to bring into your life, you can, and nothing is impossible. It's only your mind that will limit your dream. We're constantly dreaming. They want it. There's they said once you discern the dream, make it bigger.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Once you like discern it and you identify one, they said like make it a little bigger. Because they said like you're gonna make one that is achievable. Make something like I want to make $5 million a month.
Oh, dang.
Why not? I want to write 20 books. Again, I don't know what it is, but like make it unbelievably beautifully cool.
Yeah.
Because you're capable of that. And this next year really is going to be about I don't want to say trial and error, but having fun and starting to learn like what Jess doesn't like for Jess, and not because somebody else told her that she wouldn't like it.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. Yes.
Yeah. Is there anything else? They're just saying that you're loved.
Mm.
It's interesting. So they're also saying to communicate with your spirit team as
Mm,
much as you want, and you may not necessarily get the messages how you think you're going to get them, but they're seeking more interaction with you. That's not true. Not more, but a different interaction. That's how they want me to describe it.
yeah,
Yeah.
me too. All right, I'll start. I'll make the connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, since you were the first person to get a live reading here, will you share with folks? I mean, how do you, and it may be too soon to know, but like, how do you feel in this moment?
Oh, full of gratitude, appreciation. Thank you, Tiffany, and to
Yeah.
like so connected to everyone and everything, and so
Mm-hmm.
supported and seen and encouraged, like that little kid taking steps, like you're running, like go, it can be amazing. And yeah, just so many things you said. Obviously,
Yeah.
tears are flowing. That always means it strikes a chord. So, like, so many things you said is how I was feeling, and it has given me hope
Yeah.
that 2024 will really be a wonderful, wonderful, fun breakthrough year.
Yeah.
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 So that was
That's so
really
cool.
amazing. Thank you.
You're so welcome. I mean, part of what I love about being a part of people's stories is to see that evolution as well. Like I literally get to be a witness
True.
these to these souls discovering, remembering who they are. And I just find it so inspiring myself. Like,
Mm,
sincerely, it's like, I mean, I love a story anyway. Like, I love to hear someone's story and I love to cry. So that's always like, like fuck, somebody's crying. I'm like, what's going on? And not in a gossipy way, but I'm like, I just live for that deep connection. It's
yeah.
just part of my creation. So, um, I just really am grateful to know you. And again, thank you so much for your vulnerability. I'm so excited just to see where you go on this journey. And I would definitely, we'll be in touch for certain. And maybe even like we'll plan like a 2024 follow up. Who knows?
Ooh, that sounds good. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
Yes.
cool. Was there anything else you want to share with anybody? Like, I don't, again, I'm just speaking things. So I don't know if anything comes through that you want to say to anybody.
Just, oh gosh,
Mhm.
heart touching. It's like you had said too, but it's all been worth it. Every moment, every step, every book, every reader, every rung of the ladder is like worth every step of the way. And it all gets better and better and better and better. So that's all.
How would you like how do I want to say this? Sometimes we feel like we're getting our teeth kicked in all the time, like shit's just happening to us.
Mhm.
How do you what would you say to somebody that like feels like they're in a rut or they keep finding that wrong relationship or the jobs that they want aren't working out or again how not bad luck can manifest different ways. What would you say to somebody that's experiencing something like that?
Oh, God. Kind of what you've been telling me to do, like do something out of the ordinary. Take a vacation, go on a silent meditation retreat, do purchase that motorcycle or do what you've always dreamed of, even in a small way. And that kind of starts shifting things. And then you start connecting with other people and never give up on yourself, really.
Yeah. That's so beautiful. I love that. Are you open? We have like I know we said 30 minutes. I have a jar of questions. Are you open to answering a question from the jar?
Sure. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Okay.
Oh, I just noticed my cat
Hey,
saw.
oh, I'm a crazy cat lady, so that is awesome. What a beauty.
Yes, that's Pepper
Hey,
and
Pepper.
all of her glory. Dude, I love cats so much. I never knew I would love cats so much.
Right?
Okay. All right, we gotta. Hmm. Oh, this is interesting. How does karma relate to reincarnation?
Oh
And there's
boy.
no wrong answer. Like, it's just like what comes through to you.
Oh Lord. Oh my goodness. How does karma relate
Relate.
to reincarnation?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I'm no expert in karma at all, although I do like have felt that way before, that there has happened for karma. We all are living multiple lives, reincarnating. I think karma is kind of a tool we give our broader selves to have these individualized experiences where we're really learning more about our own selves and what we like and what we don't like, and um, what we prefer to be and what we prefer done to us. And then there just becomes a lifetime or a moment where it's like, okay, I get that that is like a tool that I was using. And now I choose to maybe step off of that and to like really create my life my way. Like I don't need to have all of those ties or karmic bonds anymore.
Mhm.
Um, and that can, no, I was to say it could be like a struggle sometimes, but it can also be really easy to choose that, like, yes, this is my life, my way kind of thing. Um,
100%.
but then I wonder what the next life reincarnation cycle would be like.
Yeah. Well, I've been listening to a lot of Dolores Cannon lately, and I think she called it a resting life. And it was a lifetime where somebody that doesn't experience a lot of peaks and pits.
Mm.
And she's like, you don't know the lifetime that they just came out of,
Hmm.
the lifetime they're preparing to go into.
Yeah.
But when I think about karma relating to reincarnation, it's kind of like, you know, when you murder, hell doesn't actually exist. Hell is a manifestation of man. So if you kill somebody, there's going to be some sort of karma related to the new life that you enter into in order to balance the murder that you committed or
True.
the rape that you committed or the abuse of power or again whatever the wrongdoing was. And also with karma, like I can think of one example of a karmic cycle in this lifetime that I broke was whenever a family member said they needed me, it didn't matter what or why or when, I just dropped everything and I went. My car would break down on the way. I'd get into a terrible fight with them while I was with them. I mean, terrible things were happening until one day it was Christmas time and my uncle said, "Hey, I would like to come see you." And he's not a single Pringle, but his wife wasn't going to come. And I was going to pack my dog, my cat, myself, and drive to see him. And I said, "Why don't you come see me?"
Hmm.
And it seemed such like a simple solution, but I was always the one going. And it
Yeah.
was so beautiful and lovely. And now every time it happens, I'm like, yeah, you come to me. If you want to
Yes.
see me, come on over.
Yes.
Yeah. Karma's energy is how I think about it too. So,
Mm.
all right, cool. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Things in 2024.
Yes.
And yeah, we'll be in touch and look at doing something at the end of 2024, see how life is going.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Thank you, Tiffany.
You're so welcome. Thanks, Jess.
Bye.
Bye.